Oh, damn it. The Denny's or something, and it comes on.
You quite often reference Denny's, and every time I'm like,
every time I think of a mediocre public space, that's the first thing. Denny's, bam, and it comes.
Those are the only diarrheas I didn't regret. Denny's.
Oh, it's not even a GIF. God damn it.
Denny's, the diarrhea you won't regret.
I mean, you're not. Odds are, when you have diarrhea from Denny's, you'll remember how you got the diarrhea. You know what I mean? No one goes to Denny's sober.
I went, well, yeah, that's true.
Denny's is like Waffle House, but like, no, that's it. That's all. I was gonna try to like gas up Denny's for a second there, but no, like one time we were at a Denny's after a show. We were like doing it was like in Vineland. We just come back from like what we called a tour, but it was literally like 3 days in Pennsylvania. You know, like that whole fake it till you make it thing. 90% of the bands in our local scene just never stopped faking it. We never made it. So we just faked it forever. Then we got fat.
True. True.
But there was
all but a few.
Oh no! Why is Fancy Time all tiny? There we go.
It's tiny Fancy Time.
Yeah. It's Tiny Tim.
Oh, there we go. That's now we're at now we're at the ball, right?
Now we're in business.
One time, I shit you not, we were at Denny's. They were trying to do this thing, like Denny's wanted to be cool and edgy, and they were like, yeah, man, it's Denny's after dark. And I'm like, well, we're not old enough to drink yet. There's no titties in my face. What are we doing, Denny's? And like Denny's just like, they tried to like make it a party atmosphere. So they had bands that were on tour come there and eat for free. And since we technically were on tour with this band called The Sleeping, who actually is pretty dope, even though their hit single sounds like the Diarrhea Cha 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 song. Real weird. They brought us out giant trays of syrup. And
the story keeps getting weirder.
It gets weirder and weirder.
They fit right in with Denny's then.
Our guitar player was like, yo, I bet I could drink like at least 10 things of that syrup. I'm like, all right.
Oh no.
This is bad.
You know which guitar player it is. I don't have to tell you, Chris. You know. I'm not gonna say his name, but
I do.
But he has diabetes.
I mean, there's definitely some club hands in his future if he doesn't have them already. Like you ever see like those old videos of that lady who like live with the gorillas where like they're touching fingers? Like his hand legitimately looks like a gorilla's paw. It's disgusting.
This is like the real life side effects of the Super Trooper gag where he chugs syrup, but instead in real life you just get diabetes.
I think that was the inspiration for it. Like because that movie had like been out for a bit, but it was still relevant. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this man, I shit you not, drank 30, and they were like they're not like even shot glass size. They're like big old boys, like dipping.
Yeah.
Like you dip your pancakes in that shit. He drank 30 of them. They brought out a giant tray of them. I got 6 down before I vomited. I had to go to the bathroom and throw up after chugging 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually ate 30?
He drank 30. He drank them, like with
That's
them
true.
back.
And was okay.
I mean, I didn't ask how his BMs were because that's the last thing I wanted to hear about, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, shit.
Homeboy smelled like a petting zoo when he wasn't shitting, so I don't know what was happening.
I was just going to say, what do you think smelled more, though?
No.
Those stinky syrup poops or, just normal every day?
I imagine that when you drink that much syrup, it doesn't even digest. It just runs right out of your asshole in liquid form still. Right?
Yeah, some of it still has to be in there, though, like in the corners of the colon, just like fucking calcified and like crystalline.
Yeah. Like you want to go down there in like Osmosis Jones fashion and like miniature like Magic School Bus, and then we just see like these really old like I've seen some shit homeless crystal sugar. No, we don't want to go down this road. Okay,
no, because then the tiny people are gonna be chiseling out the syrup sugar crystals out of his ass and smoking it like crack in his colon, and I don't want to think about it. If it's Osmosis Jones, that's what happens, and you fucking know. You already know.
You're adding on more world building details. I like this. Because workshopping this bad boy.
Because my heavy set ex guitar player's colon. If there's Osmosis Jones going on specifically in his colon is Camden. You know the bus is the bus is late because somebody died on it. And when it gets there, it's still gonna smell like that guy's vomit. His dead guy vomit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very important question. Is just his butt Camden or is everybody's butt Camden?
Just his butt.
Okay.
All right, thank goodness.
Yeah, everyone else's butt is like Camden waterfront. You know, where it's like those bad stuff afoot, but it's like it's all right right here.
Just yet.
Yeah, it's all right right here. We can hang out right here. Just don't go that way.
Some mornings it spills over into the forefront.
Yeah. You know, we all. Every
I always
city's
view
got
mine
bad
as
days.
like South America. It's just very humid. It's in turmoil. It's just,
So gross. Everything's damp. We don't know why. We know why, but
I mean, I feel
it's
like
called.
yeah. If all right. Serious question. If your asshole was a destination wedding, where would it be?
Rio de Janeiro, baby, all the
right.
way.
My man.
I don't know how to answer this. Do I have to factor in the fact that it's an asshole?
Yeah.
To,
Well, I mean, like if your asshole was a place, where would it be? Let's make it
Okay,
easier. Because destination wedding, you have to like, oh god, like you don't want to think about your relatives being in your asshole. Like that's it's not that kind of podcast. You know what I mean? Like we don't.
True. I'm gonna get Tijuana.
Okay.
That's my destination asshole.
So it's
That's a
it's
nice
fun, but it's a little
destination
dangerous.
asshole. Right.
You know, it's fun, but you might get kidnapped by the cartel and murdered because destination asshole.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah.
What about you?
I would say anywhere in Europe because no matter how much money you think you have, you can't afford to go there.
All right. I'm learning things about my colon, about certain people's colons.
Yeah. Some people who aren't even here.
What do you think?
We're just calling them out.
Well,
No.
One more
I
question.
demand that be stricken from the record.
No.
Yeah, can you teach me how to add like bleeps to stuff so I can bleep out what you just said? I'll edit the podcast this week. I'll do it.
But that would just sound like I said I don't even know. Never mind.
What do you think? All right. What do you think Colin Powell's colon is? Like, what do you think?
Oh, I don't want to know.
It's got to just be DC, right? Or like it's
just Guantanamo.
No, it's a missile silo on the border of Russia, right? It's in like Croatia or some shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's just ready to pop off any minute.
I just keep thinking about his balloon knot. It can't look good down there. He's got like those Morgan Freeman dots right around the edge. It's got to be a nightmare.
Every time someone says balloon knot, I just think of George Takei saying balloon knot on Howard Stern. He was like, balloon knot. I can't. I need Derek to say. My voice is not even anywhere near deep enough.
Isn't it crazy that the creepiest thing about George Takei is his voice? Right? Because he's got like a leering, undead, pale face going on.
Yeah, he looks like a cadaver. He's not looking great.
He does
He's
now.
got receding lips, so his gums are very, very.
Everything's taut. It's very like.
Yeah. He's very animated character from The Real Adventures of Flapjack. You know what I mean? Like he's the Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. He's got that gum line that never stops.
Yeah, his face always looks like you like walked into your kitchen at 2 a.m. and saw him in your fridge, and he's just.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like somebody murdered him and put him in a freezer to fuck later.
Oh God!
Oh no!
Shout out to Dahmer! Whoop!
My favorite thing to do is to immediately segue to the podcast after Scott's told a particularly grievous joke. So welcome to the Cynical Nerd.
You got it now. I mean,
no, why? What's the matter with that joke? Storing frozen bodies in the freezer.
I feel like Dahmer's a good segue.
Yeah, that's the Dahmer deluge. I don't know what that means.
All right, serious question though. Before we segue though, this is a real.
Okay.
Do you think Dahmer ever had like a conundrum, like a great conundrum, whether he was gonna fuck his leftovers or eat them the next day?
Por qué no los dos? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
get a little mayo in there.
You gotta tenderize that shit.
So I don't know why you. I feel like some nights he takes a couple bites and he goes, no mas. And then he goes to bed.
Why is Jeffrey Dahmer speaking Spanish?
I don't know. He said something in Spanish and now I'm just carrying the fucking torch.
I'm pretty sure he only speaks in grunts and guttural growls. He was an animal.
No mas.
I've never heard Jeffrey Dahmer's spoken voice. Like, I've never listened to like any kind of weird podcast or seen any true crime TV that had his voice on there. But I imagine that it can't be anything but Buffalo Bill, right? It's got to be very, I'd fuck me, would you fuck me?
I surprisingly don't think I've ever heard him talk.
That's what I'm saying.
Either.
Grunts and guttural growls. I don't think he has. Very much, very much like Nick Cage in this week's movie review. I don't think he ever spoke a fucking word.
But but we'll save that for the end.
Yep.
Yeah. I got thoughts about that. Anyway, shit, dude, we're at episode 23, boys. And you know what that means? That means nobody likes us.
It's going to be a bad episode. Yeah.
I will try not to reference Blink-182 any further. I apologize.
Derek, can we all promise not to reference that horrible Jim Carrey movie, The Number 23?
Oh, God. I had such high hopes.
I wasn't gonna, and now you fucked me up. It's gonna pop out at some point.
It's high score. I forgot it existed for like 10 years. Now I remember it.
Sorry.
It's back.
Everything's connected.
Suffer
everything.
with me.
So suffer with me. My name is Chris, and as per usual, I'm joined by both Derek and Scott. And Scott, how are you doing on this fine, fancy day that you have going on?
I'm excited. It's been a long week, but I'm excited that me and Derek are no longer a singular unit. Although I do enjoy the quality time, it's very awkward when we have our parts inside of each other in that way. Mm-hmm. So very much like a Megazord or a Gundam. We have to separate at some points. We can live our everyday lives and be scared no more.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Derek, how about you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing sort of a light colon cleanse. So just so you guys know how my weekend's going, it's been primarily on the toilet. Not too solid, not too loose, something right in the middle. I'm just getting it out. That's what you got to do sometimes.
Goldilocks the three shits.
We are two. Now we're 3 for 3 with the shit jokes, with the colon jokes, man.
Mine's not a joke. I'm doing a colon cleanse.
This is the all butthole podcast this week.
Yeah.
I just imagine Derek like in the store like Goldilocks, like he's wearing a little gold wig and he's like, this one is too watery. This one's still too tough. This one's just right. Dulcolax or however you say it.
That's right. You nailed it, actually. That's good. Most people fuck that up. Well done.
Nice. Okay. First up in Week in Review, we have on Front Street, we have a pretty light Week in Review.
I love this segment. New catchphrase of Chris. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to put it up on Front Street. I love it. It's like it's right in there in the Hall of Fame with welcome, welcome, welcome. It's just
okay.
I'm sorry. Please continue. But
I got to put something on Front Street that I was about to put an image up of the inside of a colon behind me, but I googled it and I saw what I was about to do and I can't do it.
Thank you.
There's polyps in there. It's not the first picture that came up is not a good one.
I don't know.
Looks like the bottom. looks like a bottom of like a seafaring vessel, like just a bunch of mollusks. It's fucking horrific.
Gross.
Continue.
So our Week in Review is relatively short, but we have 3 main topics of discussion. That's right. We suffered through or enjoyed, depending on how the boys feel, 3 things this week coming to America. WandaVision, the season finale, and Willy's Wonderland. I have thoughts on all 3. I'm not giving my hand away. I want these guys to guess if I liked each item before we begin. So first up in Week in Review, I don't know if you guys even remember because he was a secondary or maybe even tertiary character to begin with, but the rapper T.I., who was also playing a character in the Ant-Man series, is part of the fucking gang that helped him do heists. He's not coming back anymore. There have been some sexual assault allegations against him. I do not think he qualifies for Diddler Court. However, it looks like he just has some sexual assault allegations that, I don't know.
Just regular gross court. Just
yeah.
I'm glad we're starting the podcast off light talking about sexual assault allegations.
Yeah.
We went from colons to...
If you need to talk to somebody, you can. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, I'm not just kidding. You
should talk to somebody for sure. You should.
No, if you're a man, you dig a hole inside yourself and you bury that down and you never talk about it again. That's how we cope, baby. No, but it says he's accused of multiple, like, including forced ingestion of narcotics.
Yeah.
Kidnapping. Go figure. A dude whose fucking self-given nickname was the Rubber Band Man has a fucking rap sheet. Like, that was his nickname? His first single was Rubber Band Man. Why does the Taliban worth a couple $100,000? You never.
I like that you know that because I didn't.
You know why I do? Because it's the dumbest, laziest fucking song I've ever heard in my entire life. The fact that T.I. dropped that and then became a star, I can't. That to me is even harder to grasp than the story we're talking about right here. If I'm being honest. It's almost more offensive to me, if I'm being honest. He should be a nobody. He should be working at the fresh grocer right now still. He's fucking...
I feel like he kind of is a nobody because like when I saw this, I was like, wait, what? Who? Like I had to actually open. I was like, oh yeah, that guy. And which reminded me that prior to any of this, he's actually just a total piece of shit in general before the sexual assault allegations. He like makes his young daughter visit a gynecologist every year to make sure that her hymen is intact, to make sure she hasn't lost her virginity.
What?
He's like,
that's real?
Yeah. And he's like proud of it. Like he openly talks about it. He's like weirdly possessive of his daughter's virginity. Yeah, he's like a fucking animal. So the only thing I'm just glad that these people that are losing their jobs are like in the worst fucking most boring roles. Like it would probably be a point of conflict if it was someone who
if we lost Lewis, I would be so mad.
Yeah.
If I ever found out that Paul Rudd was accused of something like this, I might just off myself because he just seems like the most wholesome dude on the planet.
He's a real honey. He's from New Jersey too.
Is he?
Little Paul Rudd snippet for you.
What part of New Jersey is he from?
North Jersey, but we can forgive him for that.
Yeah, we just claim ownership anyway. We'll plant our flag right in that, in that Paul Rudd crack, right in that top of the mountain there. But no, dude,
rolling hills of Paul Rudd.
Yeah, like if this was Michael Pena, I'd be like crushed to find out. You know what I mean?
Right, him too. Yeah, absolutely.
I've loved him since Crash, bro. Like back in the fucking day.
Oh, great movie.
Yeah, I mean he's great in everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Say what you will about like the Ant-Man films. I don't know if Derek likes them. I know he dislikes a large chunk of the MCU. I almost said MC Universe, and I hate myself for it. And I just wanted to put that on. I want to put that on Front Street so that you guys can hate me too.
There's a whole lot of stuff.
Just open this jar of pickles real quick. If I could.
Front Street. It must be trash day. We're getting all this stuff out there.
It's getting real crowded up there, man. You got to keep room for pedestrians to pass.
Despite how you may feel about the film, the bit they did for Michael Pena in these movies where he just got to recount these hilarious stories, I thought was just great. Because that probably came about by them just riffing. I would assume like there's no way they wrote that into the script. They're like, and now you're gonna talk really fast. You ready?
I loved the Ant-Man movies. I thought they were great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
I like the first one a lot.
The second one, fair.
The second one had too much,
not so much, but yeah,
it was all a build up to Endgame. Right, it had to carry too much, to make that big tentpole movie to have the blanks filled in for it.
It did come out between Infinity War and Endgame, right? I think.
Yeah. It ends with the snap happening,
right,
in real time. Like that's
it's like this happy-go-lucky kids movie throughout, and then the last like 15 seconds, just this horrible situation unfolds.
It's also hilarious to notice that like they're all over there in Wakanda fighting, and nobody thought to call him to ask him for help. Like I know it's just convenience for the plot devices they need to set up, but like nobody thought of that guy. Also, one thing I'm sure we can all agree on is that Michelle Pfeiffer's smoke show to this day.
Oh yeah.
Even with all the work, it's working.
Yeah, the work.
She's almost successful. George Takei, like with the face being pinned back and looking sort of surprised no matter what, but it's working for her. It's not working for George.
In your mind's eye, you can pretend that she's surprised at how big your dick is, right? You're just like,
oh, you don't say. Yeah, I've been working on it.
Oh, this old thing? Well, you know.
Couple pumps a night.
I clean it up, you know.
Did you say, yeah, I clean it? Is that your selling point? Yeah, I clean it sometimes. It's pretty cool, right?
Jesus. Yeah, sometimes I do have trouble getting it through the hole of my pants. But only because it's too... I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm going to stop. Yeah, I don't know.
My man's got a Campbell soup can for a dick. My bully's got girth, son.
The street address of your bully would be 69 Chode Way.
Yeah. His favorite video game is Girthworm Jim.
Oh, no. Oh, no. If he was the star in Independence Day, his famous line would be, "Welcome to Girth."
If he was a mid-90s JRPG that's kind of obscure but dope and has a cult following, he would be Girthbound.
If he was in anything, you guys are embarrassing me right now.
If he was in a horrible movie with John Travolta, it would be called Battlefield Girth.
Oh my God, yes. Yes. If he was a country western music star, he'd be Girth Brooks.
Oh, man. I think I'm out. Nothing else is coming to mind.
I've been out since the beginning.
All right. Moral of the story, guys. T.I. is a piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. All right. Court adjourned. Moving on.
Gross court is adjourned.
gross court.
I'm gonna tell you that we're taking him to diddler court too for having someone check his daughter's hymen. You're
Yeah,
fucking
okay,
gross.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
is eligible for diddler court. Yeah.
I mean, I know he's not checking it himself, but by proxy, I'm gonna assume you're a fucking weirdo.
Bailiff, can you bring up T.I. on charges in the diddler court? Thank you. All right, we'll re-adjourn next
For being
week
a gross, weird fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, and also just a giant piece of shit overall.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's our court. We can try whoever for whatever we want.
It's true.
You know?
Yeah. We'll bring you to diddler court.
Yeah, we'll just call it Diddler Plus, and then you know that there's extra things that we can charge you for. It's like Disney, but you don't have to pay for it.
Well, I mean,
You get it in this podcast whether you want it or not. All right, I hate T.I. The end. The next topic today is something. So here's the thing. I brought up this news story. It's about HBO Max. Yes, we are shilling for HBO Max again. For two reasons. One, the actual content of the news story. But two, was a quote that the CEO of Warner Media said. And I have to assume that on this earnings call or whatever the fuck it was where he had this conversation. It looks like it's an earnings call. He was being like sarcastic or something. But the legitimate quote, if you read the article, is it turns out that most people on this planet are not wealthy. Blech. I mean, sure. I have to assume he was saying that like as like a.
I think it was like a tongue-in-cheek thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it had to be. How could
also
you be the
being
CEO
like-
of a company
Right.
and not say that with tongue-in-cheek?
yeah.
Anyway, so the actual thrust of the article is that HBO Max is looking into doing an ad-supported option and lowering the cost of the subscription. Now, they haven't announced anything officially, so there's no cost for it, but excuse me, I would assume it's probably a good educated guess is that it's probably going to cost around the same price that Hulu does with ad-supported stuff. Just, something to get them in the under $10 a month market, because HBO Max as a service is one of the more expensive bullies on the market at $15. It does have some great quality content on there, though. But
I think
would you guys?
Derek's looking at it now. Can't stop staring at it. Got him all hyped up.
Sorry. No.
It's like, man, it is kind of big.
Yeah. Oh yeah, girth is definitely the right word to describe this bad boy.
Call this the beer can.
Yeah, if that
So it
dick,
feels like I'm holding.
that dick was a natural disaster that decimated entire cities, it'd be a girthquake.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
It does feel like I'm holding a log jam in my hand.
We're talking 7.5 on the Dichter scale, boys.
Oh yes! The puns never stop on the Cynical Nerd podcast. But Derek, my girthy friend, how do you feel about HBO Max offering a cheaper ad-supported version? Would you do it?
Yeah.
Or would you continue the free one?
I'm going to keep. I hate advertisements more than anything in the world. They infuriate me. I already have to endure YouTube with their unskippable 9-minute long ads that are like double stacked. I would always rather pay a couple extra, but for a service that I use regularly anyway, I'd always rather pay an extra couple bucks just to not have to deal with ads. However, I think it's cool that they're doing this. I mean, this is how Hulu started off, right? Like it was ads only, but it was just cheap. And then they added the sort of premium function where you pay a little bit more and you don't have to deal with the ads. If it gets more people to get to experience their catalog, then great. I think that HBO Max is making a lot of awesome moves. We've talked a lot over the past, I was going to say year, but we've only been doing this for about 6 months now. Oh, half a year. Good for us. Go us.
Yeah. A little pat on the back there.
We've talked a lot about how, like the movie theater industry has not taken COVID-19 and sort of like adapted new ideas in order to survive. I think that this is a case of like a company that is doing exactly that. So trying to bring it to more homes, get more people into it. Awesome. But I will 100% stay with the premium ad-free service.
Word. I would too. I would too, because not even just because the ads would annoy me. I've already factored like the 15 into like our monthly and we're fine. So like, what's the fucking difference? And if I don't have to deal with ads in the middle of something, ads don't typically bother me. Hulu, the couple times I do use it, it can be a little egregious. Like sometimes they'll do like 3 fucking things back to back, which is super obnoxious. But
yeah,
Scott, would you downgrade or would you keep it too?
No, I there's no way I'm downgrading. There's no fucking
unanimous.
Because like honestly, like just it's $7 a month. You know what I mean? And like when I'm off the clock, I don't want to waste any fucking time doing anything I don't feel like doing. It's why I don't pay for fucking cable. You know what I mean?
true.
Like, the whole point of the service is you watch what you want to watch, when you want to watch it ad free. And one thing I've noticed is like some companies have started upping the cost of their premium, and if you're still at that bracket you're paying before for their premium, you're now having commercials bled into your shit. Like Hulu did that to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have noticed that I pay for premium. I used to pay for premium Hulu, and I've been downgraded to regular ass commercial. And I'm still paying the same rate every month.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah,
Ugh.
so fuck Hulu.
fucking feels bad, man.
Yeah,
That's not good.
Canceling that shit.
Yeah, the other thing is like now I notice like even Amazon Prime is doing this thing where like at the beginning they're adding you like their own shows and they're never that long, but it's like, come on, the amount of fucking money that I'm giving you when I hit play, just play the fucking movie, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's a little crazy. Like I don't want to watch these ads. If I wanted to watch this shit, I'll browse your app and I'll play it. I don't know. I think like when you're paying something to the tune of $15 a month or more, it's like just all that shit, just get rid of it.
Yeah. And to me, it makes even less sense when you're advertising for something else that's on your channel. Like, I already have your subscription. Why are you trying to buy me, like, win me over with showing me more shit that I can already watch right now? Like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. So, I mean, sure, it'll be there for people who want to spend a couple, fewer shekels than they are now per month on the subscription.
Poor ass bitch.
Wow, you shaming people right now?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, why not?
Just share an account with your grandparents or your parents, like everyone else does.
That's also true. I mean, and especially like Hulu specifically, and I know HBO Max does as well, but you have individualized profiles. So just share the login with somebody and like make a fucking profile, you know?
Yeah, like
listeners, extort every corporate company as much as you possibly can.
Yeah,
like we are 100% pro extortion of every corporation that has ever existed.
Yeah,
any way that you can cheat the system, you should absolutely do it.
And thanks to our sponsor, HBO Max, this week. All right, boys, I have to warn listeners because we are likely to say things that we shouldn't in the next news topic, and I just, we're there's no way that we're the ones that are weird here. There's no fucking way that we're the ones who are out of line in any way, shape, or form. I've been very vocal about how I feel about shit like this many times. So, Space Jam. What is it? Legacy? I think it's called Space Jam Legacy. Coming out.
Space Jam Cash Grab. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah. Space Jam Cash Grab is coming out. It's getting closer and closer as it inches, and I don't even know how this came out, but there was a drawing released of Lola, Bugs' often female companion, cohort, if you will. I wouldn't say sidekick. She's definitely like a co. She's in she's a co character in the bunny space.
She's a co-bunny. Yeah.
She's a co-bunny. And they released a picture of her, and she is much less sexualized than she was in the original. And if you don't know what I mean, go back and watch Space Jam. They gave her some big old honking titties, and she had a very, very what's the word I'm looking for?
Fat ass.
Well, yeah.
I was gonna say hourglass, but yours is a little better.
How many carrots do you think she can hold? Nothing. I was gonna say over exaggerated physique in the original film. That's the word I was trying to get.
Well, yeah, because bunnies don't have tits.
Right.
Well, they have 8 of them actually.
All right. Well, I mean,
8 nipples,
8 teats. Yeah.
Yeah,
a little
okay.
different.
No, I mean,
little discrepancy there.
And they released a picture of Lola in the upcoming Space Jam sequel, and they removed the breast. They removed a lot of the definition from her. And somehow, the basement dwellers of America...
Somehow, like, you don't understand where this weird rage is coming from. There's an army of incel furries. Not just furries, not just incels. It's like when you watch the two human forces meet at Helm's Deep, on the first light of the third day,
right.
Or was it for the 5th day? It's like you see two converging forces of just anger and hatred and like resentment, just in their eyes attacking their oppressors, right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah, not
absolutely.
being able to jerk off to a rabbit is super oppressive, though, if you think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really.
My rights are being taken away.
Yeah.
How will I reimburse my spank
breasts
bank after this?
Smaller, they didn't even put her in a diaper. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, what is this?
There we
that's
go.
what I'm saying. They should have gone the other way. They should have really gone to the wall and given her that like shapely figure, but make it biologically accurate. Give her 8 tits. There's just 8 of them jangling around everywhere as she's playing basketball, right?
She looks like an alien from
then you
fucking
can really
Lilo
get your
and
rocks
Stitch.
off.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah. No.
That's horrifying. Yeah. So I mean, where does the anger come from? I don't want to understand. I don't want to.
No. There are people who grew up watching Space Jam who are now 34-year-old incels and furries who've been waiting 20 years
Nick,
to stroke out a fresh one to this new. You know what I mean? Like they're really like they've already bored a hole in their favorite stuffed animal. They've already installed the fleshlight.
No. Oh no.
And they've been inside for a year, so it's really just been stewing.
They already baked a carrot cake full of laxatives so they can shit their pants while they're fucking it. They're all ready to go to live out their wildest fantasies, and now they have nowhere to dump their cummies.
Oh god.
You guys are fucking weird. You're disgusting.
Yeah.
Like you're all.
It's a weird thing, in all honesty. It's a weird thing to get upset about. Like, to have a company basically say, like, oh, this time the cartoon meant for children is not going to be super sexualized. Like, for one, your Lola Bunny still exists. Like, you can still jerk off to her. She's still out there. You can just do the Rule 34. You can watch the original. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't harm you in any way. It's basically just the director who, upon reading this article, apparently just saw the original for the first time a few years ago. And I guess looking through the scope of sort of the climate today, said like, it's a little weird. We're going to do it different. It's just strange to go like, this is the thing that you're getting up in arms about.
It's so
like,
strange
because
if you
that it is what it is, and just move on, or don't watch the movie.
Drill down to like the base of it, of what the anger has got to be about, right? Because Rule 34 exists. We joke about it all the time. So obviously sexualized versions of this are out there. It's given. I don't even want to check because I know the answer is there's probably her specifically a multitude.
Yeah, we're not Googling that one. I'm not having that on my search history. I'm not doing it.
Put me on some kind of list. No, thank you. So what's the anger really about? If you drill down, so they're mad that there's not going to be corporate sponsored like Rule 34 of Lola. Basically, like I don't understand the basis of your rage incel army. Please make me understand. Nick, ask one of your fellow furry admins to help me understand.
Nick, help us understand.
It's the same thing that they did like the all-female Ghostbusters. There's people who feel like they have ownership of this thing because they like it. I mean, and I guess we're also
that's exactly what it is.
We're also partially to blame because we shat all over The Last Jedi because it wasn't what we wanted. It wasn't what we thought it should be. We all hate Rian Johnson for his smug response to the outcry for fans, and this director's response. I mean, it doesn't seem as cavalier or ridiculous as what enraged the Star Wars fan base, but I imagine like a large part of the Space Jam fan base are probably active in the furry community, right? Like that's what else is the draw?
Oh no! Hey, I loved Space Jam when I was a kid. Okay,
yeah, so did I. But now that we're in our 30s, when's the last time you watched Space Jam if you're not watching it with a child?
I believe I can fly.
Like that, I'm sorry,
R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Lola Bunny wasn't the only weird thing in that movie, huh?
Yeah.
Bunny tits and
there's
kids. Bunch of weird stuff.
That fake flashback scene where like a little kid Michael's in like South Carolina playing basketball outside in the court.
Yeah.
That's when the song kicks in.
And R. Kelly just
swelling overture
pisses right in his face. Just just hoses him down.
Yeah. Surprise! That's how Michael Jordan.
R. Kelly's on the roof of the garage, just letting one go. And Michael doesn't realize what's happening at first because the piss gets in his eyes, and then he can't see. And then he takes it and he knows.
Sweat initially, but then once it gets to the mouth, it's pretty clear what's happening.
Yeah.
Am I going to have to Photoshop this later for a thumbnail?
Oh, no. You might.
No.
What
you need to do is you need to have it be like
a yellow stream.
You need to have it be a urinal. Like R. Kelly at a urinal looking back, smiling, like facing out towards the front of the frame. But the urinal is a crying Michael Jordan meme cut in half with its mouth like a Canadian South Park person.
Just do
yeah.
Or just a urinal, like one of the tall ones with Michael Jordan as the urinal cake in the bottom.
Oh my god, yes! That's even better.
Like just sad face crying Michael Jordan as the
Oh, no.
Oh man. All right. I got it. We're good.
I mean, this movie
flex my Photoshop skills.
What's the premise of this movie? Is Bugs Bunny going to teach LeBron how to free throw? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like,
got him.
Did you read the article?
Burn.
It's apparently like it's like basically Ready Player One in that like Warner Brothers is just like vomiting all of their IPs into this movie. It's going to be a walking advertisement.
Well, lovely segue, actually, because the second half of our conversation is that there was another article released about Lola that she's going to be hanging out with the Amazons on the island of Themyscira because Warner Brothers owns both his properties and no other reason. Like
stupid.
I think
way to not take your franchise that we already don't take seriously. Like, way to take it less seriously than we do. Bravo. Like, round of fucking applause.
So which of the what I really want to know is which of the Looney Tunes members do you think are going to join the Justice League in the next film?
Oh boy.
100% Yosemite Sam.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
100%.
Okay.
Because I mean, like, if they pick anyone who's good, it's gonna outshine Barry as the Flash. You know what I mean? It's gonna be.
But I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, Yosemite Sam's a good call.
Yeah, because
it doesn't matter what your answer is, though, because no matter what, it's just as ridiculous as any other answer that you could say.
I mean, it could be the Barry running as fast as he can, and the Roadrunner passes him.
Yeah, meet.
Yeah.
oh, that's so bad that it's probably true.
Yeah,
no.
You know, eventually that's gonna happen. It might happen in a cartoon crossover or something, but it's gonna fucking happen.
My vote for Justice League recruit is Foghorn Leghorn. He can be the muscle, you know. He'll come in.
Right, he's a tough guy.
Strong man chicken.
But they just get completely decimated while he's trying to explain what their plan of attack is, because he's gonna say, I say 30 fucking times before he says it.
Dude, that's so good though. Come on.
You know, like they just get steamrolled by like Darkseid and the mother boxes or whatever the fuck's gonna happen. I don't even know.
Batman's like, all right, you guys ready? We have the plan of attack. And anybody have any questions? He's, I say.
He's like, really? We gotta go.
Yeah, but can you imagine like Brainiac comes to Earth and like the first person he encounters is Elmer Fudd, but there's no brain in his head, so he can't do anything with him. Cracked his skull, but it's like a little peanut, like the old OG Looney Tunes cartoons.
Like, I know we're making jokes right now, but these are all just A+ ideas.
Yeah,
like,
really.
We might get hired.
Yeah,
someone needs to animate these sketches like pronto, ASAP.
I got an animation guy, but he's like $250 for 8 seconds. He's expensive.
Oof.
Yeah, I was gonna get a 30-second intro made. I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on that one.
Yeah, 8 seconds. Whoo, buddy.
Just check out my options here.
Yeah, I'm not paying $1,000 for that.
Yeah,
30 seconds for $1,000. My God, what are you, Stormy Daniels?
Gross. And I say gross because it made me think of her obvious.
There's no wrong reason to say gross because she's also disgusting to look at. She's horrible. Yeah. It's like someone took those old inflatable pool toys that you left out over the winter time in the pool. You didn't deflate them or drain the pool, and they just stuffed them up under her like one size too small dress.
Gross.
And they're gonna
she could look you dead in the eyes and be like, "You can dump inside me," and I'd be like, "I'm not sure if I can. I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna get there."
But the thing is, when she's so gross that when she said dump inside, she meant poop. Like you could like hold her, you could use her like an outhouse.
Oh no!
You could use her like a porta potty.
I don't know if I can. Can you wear this Lola bunny mask?
Yeah. That'll get me there a little easier.
See, I feel like if you put a bag over Stormy Daniels' head, it would just make it harder to fuck her because then you'd focus on the smell.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no.
She looks pungent. She does.
Oh, my God.
All right. Like, have you ever like making breakfast one morning, like you're making like an egg or something, and you're in a hurry and you accidentally drop one between the counter and the fridge, and you're like, oh, I don't have time to fish this out with a fucking, I'll get it after work. And then you go to work and you forget all about that Eggo. Where'd it go? It's a long day. You forget all about it. You're at work for 10, 15 hours. You come home. You're not even thinking about the Eggo. You find the Eggo when? 3 or 4 months later, when you do your spring cleaning. Right? Her pussy is dirtier.
Oh, no.
Is dirtier and stickier than that Eggo 4 months later.
So I have to say, I thought you were going to make a blue waffle joke.
No.
Off of that?
No, but I'm sure. I'm just saying, after watching a few of her videos out of morbid curiosity after the whole scandal thing with Trump, I understand why people do like vaginoplasty. I understand why they get their labia reshaped.
Scott is on a fucking tirade today.
I'm just saying, it looks like a blind kid made an ashtray in art class. He's like trying to make his mom. It gets funnier if you picture the mom opening it like, buddy, this is so good.
I can't breathe.
Thank you so much, buddy.
Oh my god. Whew.
Right, holy shit.
I'm good. All right. Before we move on to the next news story, only because we just talked about Justice League. This is not in the docket, but because Zack Snyder's Justice League is ramping up and it's only 11 days away at this point, which makes me very happy.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing a bunch of social media releases and stuff like that, and they've been doing these kind of like daily character videos, and I would say like at least 60 to 70% of them have been new footage or new dialogue we haven't seen before. And I didn't want to like put any single one in here because obviously we talk about that enough already, but they've been pretty cool. I thought they've been pretty cool. I actually really liked the Flash's one that came out today.
Yeah,
and,
dude, even the Flash one, like when you linked it, I was like, there's no way that I'm going to like this because he's the most boring fucking character. And I was like, yeah, no, dude, it's good. Like it got me into the Flash a little bit.
They made it.
This is the power of fucking Zack, man.
Yeah. Here's the reason that I actually liked it. There's a moment in the little teaser, Scott, that makes it look very obvious that he's going to be running into the Speed Force at some point in this film. Mm-hmm. And there's a cool moment where he says it's a real close up on his face before he's about to take off. And he says, it's all happening at once. And he's talking about time. And I just went, oh shit. Like you don't really explore kind of like the, impact it would have on somebody's psyche if they are all of a sudden like a normal human got powers and is all of a sudden able to like observe time happening all at once in the Speed Force, and like how fucking mind blowing it would be. It was just a really cool like little clip, and yeah, I mean, it kind of
explains why he's so disassociated and weird.
It could be, honestly. It was really cool though.
I originally thought that his character was written to be somebody who was on the spectrum, like 100%. Like I'm not like there's no joke there, no disrespect, but I thought they had maybe like taken that route with him.
Right.
Because the way he interacts with Bruce Wayne is always very like he doesn't pick up on the social cues. You know, He seems like he's just very
awkward.
Yeah, very like a little antisocial, but wants to be accepted. But like I don't know.
Right. You should definitely watch it. It's pretty cool. But they've been doing them daily. They've all been pretty cool. Like I said, the Batman one, the Superman one. I'm excited about it, but that's all I wanted to just bring it up. The next one, also superhero related. This is a rumor. I will put that out while we're bringing it up. I actually stopped myself from saying that because it was queuing up in the line to be vomited out of my mouth. There is a rumor going around that instead of having Stan Lee in every film, now that Deadpool is brought over, Deadpool will be taking over that role. And I'll just go ahead and say before I ask either of you, no, don't do it. I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys feel differently. It's just I know they're movies, and I know it would suit his character very well. I get that if it's true. It also just feels kind of disrespectful to me. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being stupid and like holding this human up on a pedestal that shouldn't be there. But you're replacing a beloved comic book creator who created most of these characters with. I don't know. So I don't know. It just feels dirty to me.
No, I'm with you. And it's not that I think that this is the solution to the problem, but I think that I remember hearing years ago that like, oh, they had filmed all these different cameos for however many films so that after Stan Lee died, they could still put his cameos in the film. I think there's something weird about like parading and puppeteering Stan Lee's corpse in every movie just to like continue this gimmick that you know, admittedly was really enjoyable while he was alive, but it's just weird now that he's dead. So I'm not saying like this is the answer to it to have Deadpool do him, but I mean, at a minimum, they can't. It's just weird to me, even if they do have footage of actual Stan Lee, it's still weird to me. But if they're going to like CGI him into the movies, that's so much weirder. Like just having his likeness again, like as a puppet, like shoving your hand up his fucking corpse and like puppeteering his mouth. It's just weird. I don't know. So I hope they just drop the Stan Lee thing. I mean, he's dead. Just let him be dead.
What do you think? Never mind. That might be too bad. No, I gotta say now. What do you think Destination Wedding Stan Lee's corpse colon is gonna be? I'm sorry. I couldn't. The thought appeared, and I couldn't let it go.
You did. I don't have an answer, but I'm happy you asked. I'm
just gonna say Hades. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of. The river Styx. How's that? Oh no, that has connotations. Scott just looks so sad. Scott, how do you feel about this article, though? Are you on team why is it necessary, or do you think it's a cool idea?
I mean, I was always on team why is it necessary for him to have cameos in every movie in the first place. To be honest, not that I don't have respect for him. Not that his passing didn't make me sad. It definitely did. But it's one of those things where fan service takes you out of the experience. It doesn't make it better for you. Be like, oh, there he is, because he's always there. It's not a surprise when he's there in every single movie.
Right.
Having said that, I think an homage, if you're going to continue it, an homage, having Deadpool do it, like just having Deadpool be himself and not be Stan Lee, like have him just be different characters in the same way that Stan Lee was. It seems like an obvious thing. It doesn't seem like a very clever idea. It's something that we all probably were like, they're gonna have fucking Deadpool do it. You know what I mean? Like it seems like something that somebody just said once, and they were like, yeah, maybe. But you know, like someone brought up in a board meeting, and they were like, yeah, we'll talk about that, but they're never gonna fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't see it being a thing. Like, from what I've heard, there's been difficulty in the writers' room as far as the direction of Deadpool 3 in general. Like, so I think that's like literally the least of their concerns. You know what I mean? Unless Ryan Reynolds wants to use that to get his foot in the door and maybe have more control over the Deadpool movie once he's officially like a canon staple in every movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. Plus, if he appears on the screen, he's got to get a check.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you have to imagine we all were very reticent about how and if they even would bring Deadpool into the MCU proper because of the nature of his film property being R-rated. And you can't really, if you dilute him, people are going to get pissed off. And you should be, because he is just a gross, dirty superhero. He does a lot of ridiculous shit that's kind of ingrained in his character. But at the same time, you have to imagine, even though they announced that they'll allow it to stay R-rated, there's probably still got to be those battles in the writer's room, right? Like, they're like, no, you're not having a jerk-off joke about tiny hands. You know what I mean? Like, that.
It's a mistake. It's a mistake to integrate that character. It's a mistake to drag out a gag that honestly didn't serve the MCU as well as people are pretending it does. I don't know if it's a thing like we're like out of respect, no one's just saying anything, but it's again, like we talk about all the time, like fan service has a certain point where it's like stop reminding me that I'm watching a movie and let me enjoy the escapism of watching a fucking movie.
And that's what Deadpool will do. That's what when you're watching a Deadpool movie.
That's what Stan Lee does too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
No, for sure. But like when you're watching a Deadpool movie, you expect it. He breaks the fourth wall. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
If you see him like basically you're watching another movie, Avengers 9 or whatever, and he shows up and pulls you out of it. I don't know. It's just like, I'm not watching Deadpool right now. Like, I don't need that now. I need that when I'm
right
in the mood for that kind of humor. I think I'm with you. I feel like it's kind of like, just let the gimmick die. I mean, it's like the first like big hike of the MCU is done with Endgame, and he happened to make it. He died just one movie shy of it, and they still got his, scene in there. It's done now. For the next thing, just, it was cool. I didn't mind it. I see what you're saying. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you. But I did like his cameos.
It becomes like a Where's Waldo to me. You know what I mean? Like
sure. Definitely. Yeah.
And how exciting are those books, huh?
But I liked the first one I saw when I was a kid. I liked the first one. And then I was like, really? This is the whole series? That's all you do? Okay. So moving on from the Deadpool Stan Lee news. This one actually ties into WandaVision season finale. So I know that we never give spoiler warnings because if you're listening to this, then you want to talk about the thing that just came out, most likely. But I'll do it anyway. Our main topics we had Coming to America listed first. I'm going to switch that. We'll do WandaVision first because this news article is something related directly to it.
I should probably take a pee break now. Then I'm sorry. I know you're on a roll. But
No, you're fine.
We're
You're
gonna
fine.
go right into the. I
did have good momentum built up, but no big deal.
All right, well, I will be right back if you want to shill Cincinnati. I know you love it.
Okay, I'll shill.
You want to shillville, USA?
Yeah, I'll do the solo shill.
You're gonna go.
Shilling them softly. Get going, motherfucker. All right, boys. So here at the Cynical Nerd, there's a couple of ways that you can reach us. You can reach us by sending us an email at questions@thecynicalnerd.com. And I didn't actually check them this week, solely because we haven't gotten any. I should check them. I'm a bad host. We also can be reached at facebook.com/thecynicalnerd. You probably know that if you are already listening to the podcast. You can also tweet at us and follow us on Twitter at the Schmeg Nerd. I know, weird, right? Not the Cynical Nerd. We tried. It's taken by an account that doesn't use it. Twitter hasn't said anything back to me yet. You can give us a little question on Twitter by using the hashtag AskTCN, ASKTCN, or if we mess something up, you can do hashtag FuckTCN. And if you don't know how to spell fuck and TCN, then I can't help you, and neither can Derek or Scott. That's all the shilling we have to do. So I'm gonna. They're not gonna know this until we. They're not gonna know this until they listen to it back. I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh shit! I can't. Never mind. Oh, it's gonna be a big secret.
Hey, Scott's gone. Hey, what's up?
He went to take a pee-pee. I just did all the shilling.
Oh, you did this the Cincinnati?
I was just on the verge of revealing a big secret to everybody, and then I decided not to do it.
Oh, well, that's not fun. I want to know the secret now.
It wasn't a secret. I mean, I was going to say which of these things I liked and which of these things I didn't like, and then you guys wouldn't have known I said that until you listened back to it.
I think I know. Can I tell you what I think? Or do you want me to wait for Scott to come back?
Sure, I just won't react. Coming to America.
Coming to America, you were a little less than neutral on.
Okay, WandaVision.
WandaVision you liked a lot.
A lot? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about Willy's?
Willy's you didn't like.
All right, we'll see.
What did I miss? Anything good?
I guessed how Chris feels about our 3 reviews this
You mother! I can't even leave you alone for 2 seconds.
He didn't tell me.
I didn't respond.
Okay.
I tried to do my best stone-faced, response. My best Dane Cook. All right, boys. So we have a news article that goes right into WandaVision. Like I said, spoilers abound. I bet you are, because it's been a while since I did one of those. I've been clean for so long, and it's so easy to slip back into the Dane Cook reference pool. WandaVision star Paul Bettany, you may know him as the Vision, has historically always been a very likable man. And this week he perpetrated one of the largest trolls that I can remember in pop culture. Probably since the pandemic started. I'll go that big. I don't know if it's any bigger than that. He's for weeks. There was an interview a couple weeks ago where he told us all that there was some big cameo where he was so happy to work with this person as somebody he's always wanted to work with. And there were rumors last week that it was a troll because we found out about White Vision, and everyone was like, maybe he was just talking about himself and he was being a bag of shit. And guess what? Turns out that Paul Bettany actually is a little bit of a bag of shit because there was no giant cameo.
I don't buy it.
You don't buy what?
I don't buy it. I think because this was supposed to release after fucking Falcon Winter Soldier, he was under the impression that certain scenes were going to still be in it that weren't. I think they probably.
Oh, really?
That's my theory. When I read this, there's also a part where Jimmy calls for fucking Hawkeye. Hawkeye never shows up. There was I think there was supposed to be more shit that was going to be in this that they probably removed. I don't know whether it would have been like an extra little bits here and there, or if it would have been a post credit scene or whatever. But I think we're missing something that would have been there had we seen Falcon Winter Soldier first and then seen this in the order we were supposed to.
But if that was the case, and I'm with you, but if that was the case, and the whole point is saying like, oh, a big cameo is coming, is to get people hyped up to get them to watch a show. Mm-hmm. Don't you think in his thing where he admitted that he had made it up, he'd say like, oh, he'd just say that. Like, oh, the release things were all messed up, but so make sure you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier so that you see the cameo then, like they just...
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a fair theory that would redeem him a little bit in my eyes, because otherwise that's just kind of like not for nothing. I get it. It's a fucking TV show, and I'm just a person who likes watching TV shows, and I shouldn't be that fucking mad about it. But it's still kind of a shitty thing to do,
It's a
right?
shitty thing, yeah.
Specifically because it plays into how I reacted to this episode. I didn't like it a lot, Derek. I had some problems with it. Probably not. And honestly, a lot of it stems from buildup that turned out to be kind of nothing. Like there was so many, we're going to get into it, but there's a lot of things that happened throughout the season that hint at much larger MCU spanning repercussions. And in the end, sure, we can kind of paint a picture where we think things are going from here.
We know exactly where it's going because it's linear. It's
right. And
why don't we just jump into WandaVision? Let's do it.
I mean, that was kind of the article right to it. But so, yeah, I mean, without getting into that, because we're going to come back to it. WandaVision season finale came on. It comes out strong with the, well, maybe not strong to Derek, but it comes out with a lot of MCU classic bombastic big character battles. We see Wanda's vision play off against actual like white vision, physical is in this world vision. They go at it. Wanda and Agatha, of course, go back and forth. Ultimately, what ends up happening is Agatha is not killed. I was right. I think last week Derek said he thought she was going to get murdered. I think she's being saved very specifically for Doctor Strange. I think she's going to be tapped again.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why in a bit. I think Scott probably agrees with me.
Yep.
The problem with the ending of this is that I feel like they didn't do enough in this series. It just felt like Marvel doing what they always do, which is just doing a couple blocks here and just to set up the next thing. And instead of making these big choices in this series, they just went do. And now I know, or at least I'm pretty sure I know exactly how these things are going to end up playing out.
Yeah, it's all very predictable, like painful.
Yeah. But before I loved the series as a whole, and the ending was a little bit of a down note for me because I thought they were going up here. I thought they were going to hit an 8 or a 9, and they hit like a 5 or a 6 on the actual like ramification scale of what just happened. Some stuff still happened that is going to impact the MCU. Yeah. It just, it felt kind of like sour grapes for me. But before, I ramble too long, Scott, how did you feel about WandaVision?
I mean, we're in the same boat, man. I think they spent so much time trying to build up to the mystery, and they spent so much time dragging their fucking feet with the first 3 episodes that by the time we get to episode 8, we have to do 35 minutes of explaining everything we've already seen in 22 subsequent movies. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
yeah,
it left them with almost no time to really, like, after the big reveal that it was Agatha all along, we get like an hour and a half of screen time with her revealed, and there's there's really no consequences for anything. Everything goes back. Like, she's trapped in I guess in the Hex, or like an alternate dimension where the Hex still exists since the Hex was closed.
I got the impression that she was just trapped in that mindset, but is living in this Westview town.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what because the Hex, it looked like, was gone.
Yeah, the Hex was gone. I mean, what I'll say is this entire series, Paul Bettany and
Elizabeth
Olsen were amazing. Like, they were fantastic. I believed them. I felt for them, and it's a testament to how great they were with what they were given, that I gave a shit at all, because this show didn't give us a lot of reasons to give a fuck. The few moments where they really get into it, and the walls come down, and like there's like when they're first fighting in episode 5, I think it was, and he says, "You can't control me like the rest of them," and she's like, "Watch me." Like that whole interaction was powerful and like and a
little dark, yeah.
Like, but every time they're on screen together, they were tender and like it was really sad to watch the end there.
Yeah.
What is grief if not love persevering? Like that whole thing was fucking incredible. And then the final scene in this episode where he like kisses her goodbye, like as he's fading away, even though it potentially could be agonizing to him, he's stone faced just saying goodbye. Like we've I've been a sentient robot. I've been something like, and now a living dreams. Like, just imagine what I'll be. Imagine what I could be next. You know what I mean? Like, he just handles it with so much grace, and even though he's about to be blinked out of existence, shows no fear and is more concerned with her well-being and how she's going to handle watching this happen. Know that she already had lost him before. I thought that like their characters were written beautifully. It's just that the overall story that they're existing in this, like, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it really carried any weight. There's no consequences except for like now she's a fugitive, but she was already a fucking fugitive after fucking Civil War, right? She was like, we're back to square fucking one. Like, she was a fugitive. She got blinked out of existence for 5 years. She came back 2 months later. She's a fugitive again. Like, I'm glad we had this giant.
Yeah. Derek, how about you?
It was okay. Like, it was all right. That's pretty much it. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good, and it certainly wasn't great.
I feel like, wow, okay, so we're all basically same page here, I think.
Yeah, I wanted a lot more. I think the main issue that I have with it, you guys really already touched on a lot of points that I had. And I will mention that one thing I think was excellent about this series was Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany and how they reacted. And I know before this show came on, all three of us said that their relationship in the movies was unbelievable. It was just so tacked on, and they really, really like fixed that issue to me. I thought that they were a totally believable couple.
Yeah.
I thought that, Vision's last words to her were really touching. The fact that I just like when movies and shows do that, when rather than the last words being some super uber poetic thing, he just said, "Goodbye, darling." That was it. That's it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really sweet and like poignant and bitter. I just liked it. But the main issue that I have with it is that there was really, in my opinion, no actual lesson to be had for either Wanda or us, the viewer, on grief, which was the theme of the entire show. It was just grief and how you deal with it. And I just feel like she didn't actually come to any kind of understanding of it. It was it was just, what's her name? Agatha awakened all the townspeople, and they were like, "We're hurting." And she's like, "Okay, I give in." Like, that was it. That was the whole, there was no lesson there.
I mean,
no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I disagree with that. I mean, she willingly brought down the hex and the gate. She realized that like, even though this is what she wants, it's not healthy. It's not real. It doesn't matter how real it feels. Like, she needs to move forward. I felt like that was the visual representation for processing and kind of like acknowledging that she had to move on.
Right, but what brought her there? I mean, not a lot, Like, I mean, she relived her memories in episode 8, and then, like I said, in this one, it was just like literally, however long it's been, weeks of her keeping up this facade and basically like being in denial every time someone tries to help her, and then literally 30 seconds of the townsfolk being like, "Please stop," and she was just kind of like, "All right." I just thought that was weak. Again, and I know I'm going to lose you guys here, hated Agatha. I think every fucking her costume design, the like prismatic roach fucking cloak that she was wearing was awful. Her eye makeup is terrible. Her voice lines, her actual dialogue, everything was just cringe. She's just like an overt example of villainy. She literally, they're fighting in the sky and she says, that happens. Great. It was awful.
I know, I heard it and I was like, oh, good witch laugh. I like that.
So bad. I hated it.
Did you see the boots under the building?
I did.
The boots under the car? Come on, bro.
That little
sure.
Wizard of Oz.
I thought she was cartoonishly bad, but I also thought that was kind of the whole shtick. Like, they were like, "Oh, look, the witches in the MCU are kind of like the ones you've been told stories about."
That's what I hated, though.
It didn't bother me.
That's the main thing that bothered me about it. I don't know.
There were a lot of internet theories that the hexes that she taught Scarlet Witch or Wanda about last episode were going to come back, and they did in literally a very big way.
Yeah, that was a dope
cool.
little trick they did there.
Well, I'm sitting there like watching her powers get drained, and I'm like, okay, she's literally like a husk of a person right now. Like, what the fuck is going to save this from her just dying? And then I was like, oh shit! So that was kind of a cool moment. I kind of saw it coming, but it's still cool when they did it.
I thought the rune thing was pretty neat.
You was good.
I did not see the rune thing coming. Like, I
cool.
I thought she just had shitty aim. I'm like, then I put all the like, oh, she was intentionally casting runes on all the walls behind Agatha. I thought Vision and White Vision's standoff was awesome. Fuck, I
was gonna bring that up. I'm glad you did.
That they realized that they couldn't beat each other like with like physical fight. They became like a battle of wits, and then they realized that neither one of them was Vision at this point. So like his mission and objective to destroy Vision was unable to be completed. And they was like, all right, well, fuck, you want to get a beer? Like, what the fuck do we do now?
Yeah. And the culmination was great, but even leading up to that, dude, seeing two phase shifters fight, like just like passing through his whole body neat. And then like grabbing the leg and like it was fucking awesome, man.
It was very clever No?
No.
I thought it was very clever how we know he can phase through things, and then you were watching them kind of like anchor themselves to each other in the fight. Like Derek was saying, like you see a wrist go through a wrist, and he would lock and then throw him. I mean, look, that's their whole CGI budget was just two invulnerable Supermen battling for a couple of minutes. And I agree, and I was going to bring it up. I loved the way they resolved it, which is just like, he was like, I request further elaboration. And then they go into like a conversation of like, it was like two scholars talking about who's the true vision. And then they're like, well, neither of us technically are the true vision anymore. I predicted last week that Wanda would be the one to combine them, and I was wrong. They didn't combine at all. Instead, Wanda's vision unlocked those memories on current one. But I think it ultimately is going to play out the way that I did predict, which is that now we have a Vision out there in the world. He's back from the dead, and he's got those memories, but I don't think they hold the value to him that they did, the emotional weight. I think he knows all that shit that happened, and I think that if him and Wanda ever get back together, they're going to have to like fall in love all over again, because he knows they happened, but has no kind of like emotional attachment himself. It's almost like it's like reading a fucking a script for a movie. Like you know what happened, but it didn't happen to you.
Is that sunlight on your shirt? Is that sunlight shining on you?
Oh yeah, it is.
I don't like that. I want to see you in pure darkness. I have the blackout curtains personally. Not that you need to go.
I was going to say earlier today, I was like, it's weird I have sun in here. And I was like, well, your room looks exactly the same though. Like lighting and everything. Fucking little did I know, Derek is a vampire.
That's right. I'm a vamper.
Wasn't crazy about the Vision versus Vision fight though, if I'm being honest. It
felt it was fun.
I mean, it went on for way too long for me. It just felt like they were just like, I get it. Like I fucking like, how long are we going to drag this out for? Because there were so many questions I wanted to have answered, and I don't think we got half of them even answered. I mean, like we know where it's going, but not because of any big reveals. It's just kind of like there's only one way it can go, because any possible curveballs they could have thrown us to make it more interesting just didn't happen. Whether that was done because of time restrictions or because of reordering of releases. I feel like there was supposed to be more to this than what we got. If I'm being honest, it doesn't feel
the whole thing was rushed for sure.
It doesn't feel complete at all. It feels like it feels like they were, oh shit, our other show stalled. We need to finish shooting on that. Let's get this shit edited and fucking like ready to go. It feels
like it was mashed towards the end too, because like the first like 5-6 episodes I was really on board, and then I just feel like especially 8 and 9 were just like ugh, and it was so much exposition to have like the end of your show be just characters talking about what's going on is like, this is fucking boring. Like, come on. I don't know. It just didn't. It was like I said, it was okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, it was a very like mellow note to end the series on, and it took the whole thing down a peg for me. Like I said, I genuinely loved this show when it started.
Yeah, me too.
I did have a question for Scott, which is that given that you are super anal about continuity, were you happy that Evan Peters turned out to not be?
I was happy that his last name was Boner.
Yeah.
Because like she looked at his license and I literally went Boner, and then he goes Boner. I was like, yeah. Glad we both get it. I don't know, man. To me, it feels like they did it intentionally, try to alley-oop us, to try to trip us up and make us ask questions that we're never going to come to fruition in this.
Yeah.
And that just annoys the fuck out of me, because it's subversion for the sake of subversion. It doesn't add to the story. It doesn't add to intrigue. They wrote him off. They wrote him off as nothing, but it does explain, like, Agatha put a necklace on him that gave him super speed. She cast a super speed spell on him and also like wiped his like. That's so fucking lazy and dumb. You know what I mean? Like the whole recasting thing in general, like that seemed like a wasted beat to me. It would have been way more interesting to have not done that at all, and maybe brought in somebody else.
That's why I hate the Salem witch thing. Like I hate like witches and shit like that. It's just like, oh, it's magic. It works because it does. It's like, well, I mean, not that I need everything explained down to like an atom, but like,
well, I mean, clearly because you love the lighthouse.
Yeah.
No, I
burn.
I liked.
It's not a burn.
No. That was just stating facts. You don't need to be spoon fed results and answers.
The host declares a burn.
The light is whatever you want it to be. It's hope. It's fear.
I'm not getting into the fucking lighthouse.
It was truth. It was truth. It was truth. Let's move on. It was truth.
It's a caramel macchiato. Is that what you said?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So
till Willem Dafoe
His next
comes in
movie
it.
just finished filming today, by the way. It's called The Northerner.
Oh
It
God!
just finished filming.
Is it going to be about
Can't
like
wait to hate that too.
it's going to be about like a Yeti, but the Yeti's not even in it. Like just like the fucking
Yeah.
like the beach.
You'll see them stomping around the
Yeah.
snow for a couple of weeks, going crazy together, trying to fuck like I don't know a snow leopard, and then ultimately there was no Yeti.
The guy who wrote a
I
movie
love
about
The
a
Vitch,
goat.
but I get when people don't like it. I'm like, I get it. That's fine. That's all right. The Lighthouse, I reject that. I'm repulsed by that thought, but I accept that you don't like The Vitch.
Okay, fair.
I know.
I will continue to fight you
I
in the
never made it
Lighthouse
through the
till the day
bitch,
I
man. I
die.
fall asleep every. I know
Yeah.
I know it's the goat. I know the goat's the devil, and that's stupid. That's
The
fucking
goat, his name is Black Phillip.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, well, his villainous monologue of "bat" was fucking mortifying. Best leading man, like I don't know. It's just
Best leading goat.
yeah.
So back to WandaVision. So the
course.
Quicksilver Evan Peters thing was disappointing to me because look, I know Scott was very worried they were going to like completely fuck continuity with the introduction of that alternate universe Quicksilver. But if you're going to I read an article that Kevin Feige was like, well, it's fun that it's fun that we can just do that and like cast him as it. And I'm like, no, it's
lazy.
You clearly know that you're setting expectations. There's no fucking way you don't. And like once he was in it, I was like, well, we're just on this crazy train. Let's see where it goes. And the fact that it turned out to be absolutely nothing just felt dumb to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's part of the whole like I thought we were going like this, and then all of a sudden we were like this, and there was nothing going on. And I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. There's no like big cameo, like bad PR move, Paul Bettany. If it's not true, there's no crossover with Quicksilver, even though you cast Evan fucking Peters as Quicksilver. And I just there was
It's cheap as fuck.
Yeah, there was no Mephisto or Nightmare or Bigger Bad. And look, I agree that at the point in time, like 8 and 9, there was not enough time to properly introduce all those concepts, but it still felt
They should have
like
done it earlier. They should have not wasted so much time. The first 2 episodes
absolutely
could have been 1 episode. They could have.
Yeah. There were points where Evan Peters referred to the kids as Demon Spawn, which was like what they were in the comics. There were pieces of Mephisto's soul, like. And don't get me wrong, I still think because of how the series ended that that's exactly what's going on.
Well, there's 2 post-credit scenes in this one, boys. You saw both.
There
right?
are deuce. One of which
Deuce
is
right. They are both shit.
There are deuce. One of which was clearly a reference to Nick Fury. One of the Skrulls shows up. I think it was the same one that Monica Rambeau befriended as a young girl in Captain Marvel. I'm pretty sure it's the same one. And she says that he wants to meet with you or something, and she points up. It's clearly Nick Fury on the sword station in space where he was at the end of Captain Marvel.
How bad was that scene though when he just goes?
Yeah. I threw up in my mouth a little bit when I saw that.
Hey,
really
Photon.
bad.
Can we say the visual representation of Photon using her powers was cool? I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
She pulled the bullets, and then the little moment with the kids, which I actually didn't hate that much, which was also a nod to Days of Future Past. The fucking kid, the speedster one, I forget his name. It's Wicked and
Speed,
something.
isn't it?
It's literally like Speed.
Yeah.
You're right. When he does the thing when he fucks with all the guards, he comes back with a cap on and glasses, and you put it right next to Quicksilver from the movie, and he does the same thing when he fucks with the guards in that scene. And I was like, it legitimately puts me on like the.
They did it, but they did it worse. Is all they did.
Right. It's like it puts me on the conspiracy train with Scott, which is I feel like they had shot all these alternate things of like they were gonna do that connection and then decided not to because they wanted to save it for like the Doctor Strange, the proper multiverse fucking crossover. They wanted to save for like a big movie, and I think that's exactly what's happening.
I think there's probably characters like they talk about Clint, like Jimmy calls Clint. And so when he gets out of the handcuffs and when he's in that cell sitting on like a fucking bale of hay in a barn in a cell somewhere, that scene made no fucking sense to me. But he calls Clint, and you hear him say Clint, and Clint was not in this. Which like, why would you show that and then not have the character show up?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? Like
it feel weird.
It feels like there's a bunch of shit missing. Didn't feel complete to me.
Yeah. Thank God he didn't show up though. Then we'd have to talk about that. We'd have to like allocate time to talking about
the worst character in the MCU. Yeah, the guy that shoots bow and arrow.
No, I'm sorry. Black Widow's the worst character.
I'd prefer to have superior fighting skills.
Until Stargirl shows up, starts kicking star-shaped holes in everything that we can barely tolerate about the MCU.
No, that wasn't Stargirl. That was oh shit, what was her name?
Miss Marvel, not Miss Marvel. Is it Miss Marvel?
Oh no,
Miss America, Miss.
No, it was Miss Marvel. I think you're right.
No,
I think you're right.
It's an iteration of whatever. We'll go over the backlog. That
was
like
one or the other.
15 or something.
Yeah.
No,
anyway,
it's not Miss Marvel. It's like something Star Girl.
I don't know. Star Kicker. What did I say? I wish she would.
Yeah.
I wish she would kick a star-shaped hole in my chest, so I didn't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
So, so the other end credit scene was they show Wanda in like I don't know, like a little Sokovian village or something. I don't know where it was. I'm just guessing at the country, maybe her home country, a little village somewhere, very like Thanos style, like by herself, kind of secluded. And looks like she's enjoying life out on the porch. And then they go into the house, and there's another one of her hovering, looking through the Darkhold, which she took from Agatha, and you can hear her children saying, like, please save us. So she's didn't learn any lessons and is fucking with this magic book and trying to find ways to bring her kids back. So I will posit, before she wipes Agatha, she says, you don't understand what you've unleashed. And that's why I think that, I think it's Nightmare, probably, not Mephisto, because there were rumors that Nightmare was going to be the big bad of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So if Nightmare is the entity that Agatha was like working with /for / under the control of, it looks like when they zoom in on Wanda's face, there are 2 red eyes in her people reflection. It looks like someone with red eyes is like looking back at her. It's very clear. It's not like a trick of the lens. When they zoom in, she's got 2 red dots on each of her eyes, like she's looking at something with red eyes. I think a power was unleashed when she took Agatha's that is going to be Nightmare. It's going to start the trend. They're very clearly setting up like this is how Wanda's going to be the misunderstood bad guy of Multiverse of Madness. She's going to cause this multiverse fucking problem that Doctor Strange is going to have to respond to. And then I think, here's my other theory from earlier. I think when she realizes what's going on and the second half of the movie kicks in and they team up, they're going to have to go get or unlock Agatha to be like, help us stop him. How do we do it? That's what I think is going to happen.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It also is the laziest, easiest way to get out of the end of that show without actually doing anything meaningful in it. And it bothered me a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, Vision fucked off to do whatever he's doing now. We don't know.
Yeah, he was just out
like,
there.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, like he's.
I hated that.
He's gone. Wanda is doing the same fucking shit she was doing before she got blinked out of existence. Nothing has changed for her except for, I mean, now she has an evil entity attached to her, or she's about to summon one. Like it was all. It literally was almost like what 5 hours of television. And it was all just build up, set up for something that we can't see for another 2 years. You fucking kidding me?
That's the weird part, is that we've talked plenty of times about how it's exhausting that you have the MCU and Star Wars now doing this thing where they're releasing all these shows that you feel like you have to watch in order to still be in on whatever the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
But it's almost like with this show, they designed it in a way that if you didn't see it, everything kind of remains the same. Like everything goes back to its neutral point. So it's like, what was the fucking point of making the show and making us watch it?
Yeah.
If you don't need it, it's just weird.
Scarlet Witch got a really cool costume.
She did get a cool costume. She was a
fucking smoke show in that shit.
She really did.
What a honey.
It's cool that she got a proper costume. It's cool that they kind of turned her title into like an actual thing. Like she was like some witch prophecy. I don't know what you would call it, but I actually thought that was kind of neat. I don't know. I really enjoyed the relationship that they gave us in the show between Wanda and Vision, and I think that's going to be its legacy, if you can call it that. Like the thing that it accomplished was giving us storylines and a relationship between characters that honestly I didn't really care about beforehand. And I'm excited to see what happens with Vision, actually, because now we've got like he's probably going out there to like try and like figure out who the fuck he is, right? He just unlocked all these memories he didn't have before. And
he's going to start taking E, going to clubs.
Yeah. Really trying to find himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Find like a resident, glory hole. Just find them.
Yeah. He's going to sleep with a few guys. Why not?
We got room and hours.
Do it.
I hate that they brought Vision back and didn't kill him off again. I hate it so much.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's so fuck. Yeah, like the only person who's gone is Robert Downey Jr. and Black Widow at this point. We like 2 people.
Yeah.
Like out of everyone who sacrificed themselves in Endgame, we only have 2 that are gone. Stupid.
So nothing actually has any consequence. This is my issue.
Yeah, like,
it's like, what's the fucking point then? Why care?
Wait, no, he's a different color now. Well, I don't give a shit. He looks shittier than he did before. He looked cooler when he was red,
and
red,
I
yellow,
guarantee
and green.
you he'll get it back. Yeah.
And you know exactly, because you know the way that the goodbye between Wanda and Vision, where it was like, maybe we'll see each other again one day. Like he's getting all his memories back. He's getting his personality back. He's coming back 100%.
I hate it.
Yeah, same.
I want to take the MCU out back like an old Yeller and shoot it.
Wow. Bold statements.
It's time, man. That thing's rabid. It's gonna bite somebody.
Yeah, but not next week. The week after, we have Falcon and Winter Soldier, Scott.
Oh, can't wait.
Can't wait.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I'll watch the first 2 episodes, and if I don't like it, if I don't legitimately enjoy it, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, we talked about it before. We would collectively agree.
Yeah,
you know,
that's fair.
I can't. Yeah.
Also worth noting, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier are going to be hour long, but there's only supposed to be 6 of them. It's like a mini series. It's not that long. That's so you know it might not be a lot to suffer through.
The only reason I know
good.
I'm going to watch all of them is because there's only 6. If it was like another even 9, 10, no. But we'll see how it is.
My thing is just, it's like what got me the most about this show is that like every episode ended with a cliffhanger. Then next week they didn't bother to explain what the fuck they had led up to at all. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like Snooper's gonna snoop. By the way, here's 45 minutes of shit you already know. You know what I mean? Like every time there was a cliffhanger, they didn't answer your questions. Like Quicksilver shows up on her front door and he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, I know I look different." Like they don't let it hang. You know what I mean? Like he explains that he knows that he looks different right away. So it's like they could have played with that in an interesting way. You know what I mean? Like there could have been.
Yeah, definitely.
It was cheap. It was super cheap.
A lot of the writing felt a lot of the writing surrounding that that cameo, or not even a cameo, that recasting of Evan Peters as the same fucking character he already played just felt like hacked on the last minute. It felt like underdeveloped. It felt like they didn't even bother to think, like, to plan out how the big, like, she never finds out that it's not really her brother. She never finds out. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess she does, right?
I think Agatha says something about
Agatha
it.
Tells her, yeah.
Well, she thinks that Agatha brought it back. But she doesn't know that it's an actor. She doesn't know that it's not really her brother. Right?
I'm not clear on that. I don't know.
Who cares? Who gives a shit?
Anyway, the last thing I will say, you guys said it earlier. I did think the goodbye was well done between them. Like, I know that, you know, the one between her and Vision is kind of meaningless, but the moment of them saying goodbye was nice. Tucking the kids into bed as the wall was coming was actually heartbreaking.
Yeah, just imagine if you could, like, hear the kids screaming like they did when they were on the ground.
That's what was like. Yeah, it was weird to me. I'm like, why is it that this time everybody's going so peacefully? Like, it just felt like a betrayal of the world that they had established 15 minutes prior. It was just, I don't know.
I mean, they're all a construct of Wanda's mind, so maybe she's calm now and letting go. I don't know. I'm making things up to make it make sense. All right,
but that's what I mean. That's why it didn't, like, her whole. Not to recap, but like that was the issue I had with it. Is it's like, literally 10 minutes prior, she's like, they're like screaming like, and she's having this like emotional freak out moment. And this time, for some reason, it's just okay. Like, she's just like, go to bed. And they're like, all right, Mom, see you never, I guess. Like,
gonna fade into non-existence in pure agony forever.
Yeah, we'll scream at you while you're looking at a book in a couple months.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. So WandaVision ended on a pretty big stinking note.
Yeah. The only way that could have ended worse is if she was reading for, like, one of the blacklisted Dr. Seuss books at the end.
What do you? All right. So next up in the full review, we have Coming to America.
Yes.
What did you say? Did you think I was kind of neutral about this?
Just below neutral.
Just below.
Yeah.
I would say I'm right in the middle, like actually just neutral. Look, what you said in chat the other day, you were like, as long as you go into it realizing it's a sequel to a comedy that came out 30 years ago, you're probably going to be fine. I don't know. I laughed at some of it. I didn't hate it because it was so over the top stupid, but it didn't need to exist. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of this weird thing where I was like, I'm happy to see Eddie Murphy back. but I don't have any particular attachment to Zamunda or the world they built in Coming to America. So it's literally about, can you make me laugh? And it did sometimes. Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Every once in a while, I would chuckle at something because it was more like just because it was stupid that they, I was like, okay, fuck you. But yeah, I was just kind of, okay, this exists. I watched it for free because I already paid for Prime. So, no harm, no foul on my part, and moving along. There was nothing else to it for me. How did you feel about it, Scott?
I talked a little bit of shit in the group chat while I was watching it. The first 5 minutes of that movie just assaults you by making you look at Louis Anderson's face for no
That's
reason.
true. Oh,
he's only
so
in
hard.
it. He's only in it for one scene, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And he's dressed in full African garb, and his jowls are not perky.
It makes me feel bad for talking shit on Tyler Hoechlin. I'm like, okay, you don't look that bad anymore. All right.
I mean,
do you think they had to pay Louis Anderson triple because his jowls command their own trailers now?
I don't know.
They really were swinging.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't think he has a separate trailer for them, but I think they have to have jowl wranglers on set to make sure nobody gets hurt while he's filming.
Like the beginning of Jurassic Park 1.
Yeah.
Oh, back up.
Yeah.
Rallying them into the fucking cage.
Yeah, well, they actually have to tranquilize his jowls and use one of those like dog catcher ropes to like round them up and tuck them into the collar of his shirt before they start filming.
Right.
Gross.
Heavily tranquilized jowls. Yeah, this man's got
someone got their arm ripped off.
Yeah. Yeah, someone was reaching for some cocktail shrimp at the craft services table and just instinct took over. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, going into it, I had very low expectations because based on seeing Louis Anderson in the first 5 minutes, based on seeing that old Bruja looking witch doctor man that I didn't.
That makeup was great though.
It was hard. It looked like the old lady from Drag Me to Hell, and I hated it.
Yeah, I was like,
this is really hard to look at. I hope no one else looks like this in this movie. And I lucked out. Nobody else did. I had to see the weird dead-eyed guy only like 3 times in the whole movie. Which I'm pretty sure was that Arsenio Hall in that makeup?
I think so.
Yeah. But the thing, it's a testament to the makeup. The makeup was so well done that I couldn't tell who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That was the only case that in that movie I was like, is that Eddie or Arsenio? It's gotta be Arsenio. Yeah. I had like second guess it for a second. But I really, really enjoyed this movie. I did. I didn't have any expectations. It was funny. I thought the casting was great. I always set a real low bar for those 20-year sequels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to make one that doesn't feel like a cash grab. It's hard to find a fresh story to tell that's not just literally rehashing the same thing with a better budget and newer CGI in a lot of cases.
Right.
I don't know, man. This one had kind of it kind of flipped it into the exact opposite. This was like the changing places equivalent of Coming to America 1. You know what I mean? It was like it shows a poor kid from Queens going into that world and adjusting there. And I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was cool how they kind of like they paralleled how like Eddie had come to America and against his parents' wishes in the first one to find love, and this kid from Queens comes there, has all this, and still chooses love over the money, the fame, all that, all the power. It was really simple like narrative and lesson, but I thought it was really well casted, really well done. It was funny.
Yeah. I would point out before Derek goes that it actually, so the plot for the most part was incredibly predictable because we know that like his son has got to go through the same thing that he did. But they actually surprised me because the whole time they're doing this kind of like, well, they're kind of propping up early that like it's fucked up that Zamunda won't let the queen ascend.
Yeah.
And she looked like she was going to do it. And then I was like, well, but they're making Lavelle go through all this like character growth. And he seems to becoming like he's going to become the prince he's supposed to be. And I for a minute, I was really like, how's this gonna, who are they gonna pick? You know, it actually made me guess for a minute before, he flies back to the States and then he gets the blessing to marry the royal hairdresser. Was it Marimbe? I think her name was.
Yeah.
But Derek, how did you feel about the film?
Yeah, I was okay with it. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I mean, every musical number was the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, especially the one where the dude like raps when his mom's like, you know the words to this song. It was like, oh God.
Yeah. I was like, but we don't want to hear them.
Yeah. Yeah. Had a lot of cheese on it, but I feel like sometimes when you go into a movie expecting the cheese, it's not so bad. And for me, I expected it with this. But no, I mean, you guys kind of hit all the notes. I don't really know what else to say. I think like seeing a lot of people acted their sort of goofy, tiny little parts well. Like Wesley Snipes was excellent. As Izumi, I think his name was, or Izzy or something like that.
Izzy, yeah.
He was excellent. Everybody did a good job. It was kind of a flat toned movie. I'll forget everything that happened in it in 1 year, guaranteed. But I'm not unhappy that I watched it. It was
1 year, huh?
Yeah.
Being gracious over here. Yeah, it was fine. The barbershop scenes were funny. Like those guys just giving each other shit the whole time was just as enjoyable as I remember it being. I thought it was fun. I don't have anything else to add either. I think overall it was just it exists. It's out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you watch it, you probably won't regret the time you spent watching it. I think it's worth a watch.
It definitely throws a couple curveballs though, because like you expect it to be this giant adventure about him being in the U.S. and reconnecting with his son in Brooklyn.
Right.
But they changed the narrative beats up so many times in that movie. It kind of goes all over the place. So I mean, it was predictable as far as like what was going to happen in the end, I think.
Yeah.
But it's still I don't know, man. It still was really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like one of my favorite bits, and I really can't explain why. And I don't know. I'll just see if you guys felt the same way. It was when he goes to New York, and they're like, "Oh, you can't wear your Kingsguards out there," and he's just dressed up like a just stereotypical like New York tourist, and he has this like big smile on his face.
Yeah.
I don't know why that frame was just hilarious to me. I was like in tears.
No, I mean for 100%, like Eddie and crew definitely knew how to capture the feeling of that old movie.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job like capturing that tone. But again, I mean, I don't have any real connection to that world other than that original movie was funny. So this one hopefully is too.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Coming to America. And last up on the docket for episode 23, 23andme.com, is Willy's Wonderland, which is a film starring Nicolas Cage. Starring might be a harsh word here.
I feel like starring is too generous.
Yeah, it's pretty generous. About basically what would happen if you had a mute Nicolas Cage fight off all the Five Nights at Freddy's monsters.
Yeah, one by one, Mortal Kombat style for no fucking reason. One by one.
And he was addicted to like an energy drink, which I didn't understand.
Did you guys get that?
No.
Those were beers. Those were craft beers.
No, I don't think so.
I thought they were energy drinks too.
I'm pretty sure I called the side of the label.
On the side. They did say pop.
Yeah. And I think one of them said something about like caffeinated something. I don't know. It was fucking weird.
It looked to me like somebody was blatantly plugging their craft beer.
The whole movie was a commercial for the director's side beer business.
Well, no, but it looked to me like somebody did somebody a favor, and he's like, they were gonna have this character like Nick Cage is clearly on the spectrum in this movie. I'm not this. I know it seems like a recurring theme because I also thought Barry Allen was on the spectrum, but Nicolas Cage is 100% on the spectrum in this movie because he doesn't say a word to anybody the entire time.
Right.
He shakes the guy's hand and agrees to do whatever the guy says. Even when he realizes he's being killed, he's still following the agreement he made.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's in between murdering animatronics. He goes back to scrubbing. The guy tells him to take a break every once in a while. He's like, don't work yourself too hard. Make sure you take a break. So he takes a break on the hour, every hour for like 5 to 10 minutes to drink a soda or a beer or whatever the fuck it is and play pinball. Even in the middle of combat, he takes breaks to go play pinball.
Yeah, it was weird. That was like his
we're gonna get some
tweaks.
We're gonna get some fuck TCNs from Autism Speaks for this episode. That's my
probably. No, I mean I was gonna make the joke, or not even the joke, like just the observation that the way his behavior was very much like he's constantly feels the urge to go grab a fresh T-shirt. He constantly wants to go down this drink. He constantly wants to go play pinball. It was very weird how he acted this movie, and I'm sure the director had all those things in the script, but like. I thought I was gonna like think this was dumb fun, and it was just dumb. I didn't like it.
Yeah, this was like not even. There's a sex scene and not even one titty. What the fuck are you doing?
I know.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
I was like, finally, this last 20 minutes is gonna pay off. I'm gonna see some titties. And I'm gonna see someone get murdered. They don't even show the murders. She's banging on the door. You come back and she's dead, and all her clothes are on, bro.
Yeah.
What are you
And
doing?
that guy
Yeah.
was an uncomfortable stereotype throughout.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
little borderline.
The way in which he said baby felt really
Come on,
Yeah.
baby.
degenerative, let's just say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sound like the way he met her was by a couple of roofies.
Oh, no.
Ugh. Did Danny
I
Elfman
mean,
do the music for this? Speaking of roofies?
Oh no! Did you guys like the soundtrack I put at the end of the last episode? I didn't like any of the teenage actors. They were all terrible.
Awful.
They were all garbage, just hot garbage. And they were all probably really excited to be working with like Nick Cage.
Yeah.
I don't know the whole plot. I really was disappointed.
It could have been good. It could have
Yeah.
been good, dumb fun.
Yeah.
It could have been super, super dumb fun. And my expectations were built up a little bit because it got like 50%, but like that can still be enjoyable.
Yeah.
That can still be a dumb fun movie. And I just hated it, dude. I was like, his character's not likable. He never fucking says anything. And let's be real, most of the allure of Nick Cage is that he says crazy shit all the time.
Yeah. I didn't even have a one-liner. I thought it was going to be one thing like, it's actually my birthday at the end or like something like that. Like nothing.
Yeah, like
It is my birthday.
Having Nick Cage in your movie and not having him be crazy Nick Cage, having him be like boring, quiet Nick Cage. Like what are we doing? Fellas, I got so bored that I pulled one out during this movie. I didn't even pause it. I just kept it going in the background.
For you. I didn't even pause it.
Yeah.
You just put it on the other monitor. And then
No.
play.
I was smartphone. I don't jerk off on this computer, boys. This computer's porno free. But that phone, man.
So is mine. I have to say.
I mean,
Yeah,
all
it's-
PCs should be porno free because they stream.
Never watch porn on the computer. But my phone, bro, my iPhone.
oh, the phone is disgusting.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
God, there's
like-
basically cum in it at this point.
Yeah,
It's a
like,
nightmare.
I don't know either of you anymore.
Have you ever watched something so dirty that you immediately just want to like hop in your car, drive down to one of the shore points, and throw your phone into the ocean because deleting your history just doesn't seem good enough?
It's not enough. Yeah. Let me just say, this is what I hate about B movies. B movies as an art are designed around the like it's so bad that it's a good thing. So there's no real way to criticize them because there are people out there who like this movie, and if we were to say everything that we're saying now, they'd say like, oh well, that's the point. It's bad, and it's like
No.
So there's no real point in ever saying anything about a B movie because if it's intended to be bad and it is bad, then it technically hit its
It's a
mark.
cop out.
Yeah.
But this was just fucking bad. Like there was no.
Yeah, there's bad entertaining, and there's just when is this over?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And it was definitely when this is over.
Yeah. Like under halfway through the movie, I'm like, all right. The gimmick
Yeah.
ran up. Like I'm
Yeah.
ready for this to be done.
I was
now.
like, this is an hour and a half
It
that could
wasn't-
not come soon enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't scary, which like you wouldn't expect it to be. But you expect them to like build some tension, and they did
Right.
because it literally was just Mortal Kombat.
The one
With shitty
Tinkerbell
action
thing,
scenes.
the one Tinkerbell creature was a little creepy, but that was it.
crawling up backwards. The thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
The
that was
the
it.
CGI
Yeah.
was also so bad when he fought the ostrich and when he fought the Tinkerbell girl. It was so unbearably like, and I'm not a snob. I've watched all of the Hatchet movies. I watched Critters in space, Leprechaun in space, Jason X takes place in space as well. I'm not a snob, bro. But
I like that you were like, look at my resume of horrible movies I've seen.
yeah, that I've watched and
That take place in space.
genuinely enjoyed at least some things about those movies. Because there's a way to do camp and cheese, but do it in a way where like it doesn't feel like you're wasting the audience's time. It's like you give them a wink and a nod. We talked about that before. I mean, like
Yeah.
you have to make the audience feel like they're in on the joke. Like whether it's Metal Gear Solid, whether it's fucking a goofy directed DVD horror sequel. There's ways to do this shit where it's inclusive and it's still entertaining. And this movie felt like it wasted my time the entire
Yeah.
time. I
Yeah.
like within the first 20 minutes, I was like, all right. Well, we're getting a slightly different start. Like this girl got arrested right at the beginning.
right.
She's not with like I was like, at least the setup's not what every setup usually is. It's not just these kids breaking in somewhere. And then what happens? Kids fucking break in, but he's already in there. Like what? How do you avoid the cliche for the first 20 minutes and then just dump on it? Just empty your load into this movie, your cliche load.
I feel like the thing about winking at the camera in B movies, I felt like for at least the first half, I kept waiting for it to happen. I was like, at some point, they're gonna include me in the joke, right? They're gonna make sure that we're all on the same page. And then I was just like, no, this is just not good. I mean, the lore behind the town and like it was stupid
Oh, God,
Yeah.
so terrible.
and like the laziest fucking thing I could think of it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there should have been no explanation. There should be no explanation. Not knowing is scarier.
Yeah.
But also,
I think it would have been better if they were just exactly if it was just like this accepted thing. There's just living fucking animatronic robots in this place, and we got to kill them. Boom,
yeah,
done.
like the whole serial killer thing. It was so stupid.
The whole town being in on it's stupid too. That's fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's very Nightmare on Elm Street. At least an attempt at that.
Yeah. But somehow a burnt head to toe child molester is more likable than any one of the characters in this movie. Even the hero with his big sip guttural grunt.
I just don't get it. The character choices of like not letting him talk. I like maybe him talking could have been the thing that made it feel like the wink wink, like Nick Cage, look, he's being crazy Nick Cage, that's the gist, right? And then it was just nothing.
It feels like something that survived way too long in the sort of like lifespan of the script, right? Like when the first day he was thinking about it, was like, oh, and we'll have a silent protagonist, and just never let go of that for some fucking reason throughout all of development. It's like, maybe the protagonist should talk.
You guys hear we got Nick Cage? Really? Oh, all right. We're gonna brush up the script, add some dialogue. No. Could we at least add a scene where he just yells for no reason? No. I think he'll just drink energy drinks and
grunt.
Yeah, he'll play
pinball.
Play pinball.
And do like a dance. That scene was pretty alright.
Oh yeah, that was fucking weird. So isn't there like a Screen Actors Guild thing where if an extra like has an actual line in a movie or so many words you have to pay them?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think obviously Nick Cage got paid, but like how many of those people do you think were fucking furious? It's like this guy's getting a paycheck, he's just showing up and not saying anything. Oh god. Talk about a phoned in fucking performance that he didn't. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about it. I was really disappointed. I really didn't like it. I thought it was going to be at least stupid fun, and it was just plain fucking dumb.
Yeah, I mean, like there was the gore factor. I'm gonna break it down. Gore factor, I'd say 2 out of 10. Dialogue, 1 out of 10. Narrative, 2 out of 10, maybe. We'll give him 2.
Maybe generous. Yeah, we'll solid a 1.5.
Overall experience, I'll give it a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.
Because I did pull one out for a little bit there, and I had a pretty good time while doing that.
I'll give it a 3 because Scott pulled one out during that. Because it's nothing else saved it. It's funny that Scott mentioned the sex scene because I thought the same thing. I was like, well, not good, but at least we're gonna get some titties.
Yeah, why do you think I pulled one out, man?
You see him go into a room, you're like, all right, yeah, okay.
Like, they were just flirting those big honkers at us the whole fucking movie, and they just kept him in.
It was like no titties. I was out where I was like, no titties. Well, I'll fix that. I just got on my phone.
No titties.
I'll fix that. Like, sorry, buddy. I know you were disappointed. I got you.
Well, I never.
Yeah.
No titties.
No titties. I'm gonna tell guys I'm a fancy party, and everyone at this fancy party came here to see some titties. So.
Right.
Yeah. And they're gonna show their titties too, just to sort of complete that circle.
But we've talked last week about like undoing a corset, right? Like an old medieval corset and how bad it smells. So I'll get real stanky in here, admit, fellas.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather smell like corset bush from the 1800s than ever watch Willy's Wonderland ever again, though.
That was not good.
I wouldn't go that far. I would watch it again as long as I could pull one out at least twice during its runtime.
Right.
At least twice.
I got to try that. Maybe it makes it a little better.
Yeah, that's really the secret sauce to watching movies. I mean, oh, gross.
If you're asking me to come on a sandwich, Chris, I'm not doing it.
No, I'm not doing it. So those were our main topics. Derek, did you have a recommendation prepared?
I do. I have 2.
Okay.
And the first one, I feel like we agreed that with the movie recommendations, it has to be that either 2 out of 3 or none of us have seen them for it to be like accepted, right?
Yeah.
So I have one, and I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Rather than trying to get you guys to watch some art house bullshit that I know you're not going to like, I'm going to suggest something that I think you'll like. But if one of you has already seen it, then I do have an art house foreign film that we're going to watch.
Oh, no.
Okay?
I hope one of us hasn't seen this first option.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
First suggestion is The Nice Guys starring Ryan Gosling and
I have not seen that.
What's his fucking name?
I know
The Nice Guy?
I know
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
The
yeah.
Nice Guys. Yeah.
No. You know
It
what's
is the best
yes.
buddy cop movie I have ever seen in my entire life. By far, it's not even close.
I'm very happy about this because I started
I was
this
actually
once
going to
and
watch it the other day, and I didn't.
I watched like 10 fucking minutes and it was great, and I turned it off and never saw it again, and this makes me very happy.
I'm not even worried about this one. Like, even with like Grand Budapest, I was like, I wonder. No, you guys are gonna love it. Enjoy it. I'm just happy to watch it again. And
Look
we
at
get
this
to all
guy.
talk about it. Yep.
I feel like now I have to look for things to hate.
Yeah. I just want to formally apologize for making us watch Willy's Wonderland, guys. That was my.
There's gonna be misses, right?
It's okay.
It was my suggestion. And
normally the recommendations are that the person recommending it has seen it, but you hadn't seen it, so I give you a pass. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
That wasn't the malicious recommendation that we joked about, where like we know you hated it and you're subjecting us to it, so it's fine. It'll happen one day. Yeah. And when that happens, two of us will crucify the third for it. Boys, do we have anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to wrap this bad boy up this week?
I want to add that I talked a lot of shit on Monster Hunter. And
oh no,
W.S. Anderson, I did. And I've got to say, I watched it today.
Don't do it.
I enjoyed it way more than Willy's Wonderland. Like,
no. Okay.
That's a real low bar.
So much more. No, but like I enjoyed it more than any video game movie I've seen ever. I think, legitimately.
Wasn't there one good one?
No, there's Mortal Kombat. I know you like Mortal Kombat more than Monster Hunter.
All right. That. But
okay.
But also I haven't seen Mortal Kombat in like 10 years. So like that's nostalgia goggles for sure.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah. It was.
It's on. I saw it on Plex, so I probably will watch it at some point too.
I mean, it's not what I was expecting.
I'm expecting like next winter when I have the flu and like there's not like I'm just dying and like sweat is just falling out of my body and I'm sort of having like a fever dream. I might accidentally hit play and like exactly, yeah.
Your eyes are bleary and you try to hit play on the lighthouse again, but you missed. Whoops, Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Fuck yourself.
Like your dick's got whooping cough for some reason. You know what happened?
Oh, I know the reason.
You're right down there, Girthworm Jim. Just doing the big old, old whooping cough.
I should have utilized all the time that I wasn't talking to think of more girth jokes, but I didn't.
You know what? At one point while we were talking earlier, I thought I should pull up another tab and just Google like words that rhyme with Earth and just get this train rolling.
Yeah.
And I forgot. All right, boys, we good to wrap it up this week? Do you think?
Yeah, I have to pee just exceptionally.
Okay, I'm gonna let Derek say bye first because I think Scott's trying to find another just A+ rhyme to get us out on. So, Derek, where can everybody find you at, buddy?
Fair play. My name is Derek. That's Derek. First of all, there's a lot of Derricks out there, and I don't associate with them. So don't associate me with them. It's Derek. That's
witchcraft.
Just if you encounter me in real life, which is very, very unlikely. If you want to encounter me online, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Dr. Gloom MD. That's DRGLOOMMD.
Okay. That was very, very precise. I like it. My name is Chris. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TCN Plays. I've been playing a whole lot of Valheim. I can't stop playing it. It's got its hooks in me. We just built a pretty rad mead hall. Pretty giant. Room for lots of trophies on the wall, boys. Yeah. You all are welcome.
Right.
If you ever want to play
a mead hall. I thought you said meat hall.
Yeah, I thought you said meat hall.
Also that. We're just slinging dick around that place. You know,
you must be naked.
Would you say that it could fit Darren? I called you Darren.
That's worse than Derrick.
That's worse than Daryl even. Do you have a name for this fort that you built?
It's called the Fuck Off Fort. Yeah.
Might I suggest Fort Girth in the
Fort?
Oh, in Fort Worth. Got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. TCM Plays. Scott, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Glimish and YouTube and Facebook Gaming.
Glimish.
Yeah. I'm Swearwolf. That's SWEARWOLFE.
How is Glimish so far?
It's
Is it live?
Yeah.
Really?
It's not integrated with Streamlabs OBS yet, so I can't multi-stream through it. So I have to run Streamlabs OBS for my Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook gaming, and I have to run regular OBS. Glimish. Basically, I have to stream the same thing out twice. But
that sucks.
I mean,
for now.
Yeah, for now. But,
I'm sure they'll. Yeah.
It's a brand new service. It's still in alpha. It's not even in beta yet.
Right.
So
okay.
I mean, so far, it's having
co-streams. They got co-streams.
They will be having that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just. I mean, it's very early. Like they're basically they're a company that's like without any major players backing them. It's a startup that they're doing it on their own. They're crowdfunding to get this thing built and up and running. So naturally, they're having issues with the influx of users. They don't have the bandwidth. They don't have the servers for what they're trying to do yet. And there's been issues here and there, but the fact that they're being completely transparent with the community, that they're doing weekly, essentially town halls, like weekly live streamed meetings, and they've been doing them for months, where like every week they're touching base with their viewership and with the people who want to be potential streamers with them. And it's just it seems like it's a really cool thing, man. It seems like it's what Mixer should have been.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have the funding that Microsoft has. So it's going to take them a while to get everything set up, get all their systems built up, and have everything integrated so you can have the same kind of quality experience. But
well, I mean, given the amount of people they're getting thrown at them, it should be pretty transparent to them that there is an audience there for people who hate Twitch as much.
Yeah.
And so good luck.
There's, I mean, not to go on a rant here. I mean, we are running a little light than what we usually do, but it's very I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way to see people on Twitter, and there are a lot of them, that immediately are just like they want to shit over something that it's new. They want to talk shit on people who are like I've seen tweets like there's no point in moving unless you already have unless you already have viewership. It's just gonna be another Mixer. It's gonna be the next D Live. It's gonna go nowhere. And the people who are saying this are like 30 somethings who do TikTok dances for their viewers on Twitch. So sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, shut the fuck up, live and let live, eat shit, suck a dick, have a good night.
I can't do any better of an outro other than that. So with that, we'll see you next week, boys, for episode 24. Bye.